Okay, now that you have your background all erased, the next thing we're going to do is we are going to open up an image of an iPad and we're going to drop it into your Photoshop document to create another layer. So what you need to do is you need to go onto your desktop and you need to click on the SG drive. From the SG drive, you're going to go into the SW Student Shared area, Art folder, and to the iRead folder. And in the iRead folder is an image of an iPad. Go ahead and double click on that. Now what we need to do is select and copy. So just as we did earlier, you have this plus sign here. Come all the way over into the top left corner. Click, drag. Now it's selected. Edit, copy. Minimize this because you might need it later. So just drop that. You can get rid of that. And now make sure you're in Photoshop. So click on your Photoshop page. Make sure it says Photoshop next to your black apple. Go on to edit. Oops, I did that too fast. Edit and paste, okay? So now you have this picture of this iPad right here in back of you. If for some reason it's not in back of you and it's like covering you, it's because it's in a different order. Okay, so if you look over here in your layers area, this is saying that the iPad is at the top. That means it's in front. It's the front layer. But if you take that layer, click and drag it and bring it below, it'll go in back, okay? So we need to resize this, but the picture of me is really distracting. So right here, there's a little eyeball next to my layer with my picture. If I click on that, it's showing me, it's like the eyeball's closed, like I can't see that layer anymore. And if I click on it, now it shows. It doesn't mean it's gone, it just means it's temporarily away. So I'm gonna click on that eyeball so I just have my iPad. And I need to resize this. So hopefully by now you've remembered to resize something. You go to Edit, Transform, and Scale. Remember to hold down that Shift key, drag it down, let the Shift key go, click inside of your picture to drag it, hold the Shift key down to shrink it. We want it to fit just right inside here. So I'd say that this is pretty close right here. Okay, don't forget to hit the return key. Now we want to change the inside of the iPad screen to a different color. So this is going to be totally up to you in how you choose your colors, okay? So the first thing I want you to do is right down here in your toolbox, you'll see this little black and white box. Just click on that for me, just to make sure that things are all clicked. So click on these two little black and white boxes, not these big ones, just these little ones, just to click on it to make sure everything's gonna be set for us. And now we're looking for a paint bucket tool. And I don't have my paint bucket tool. Oh, there it is. But you might not have your paint bucket tool. It might be underneath. It might look like this instead. So it's either a gradient tool or the paint bucket tool. So click on that paint bucket tool and we are going to change the color. So if you go right on here onto this big black box, double click, here are different options for colors, okay? And then wherever you put your circle, you see this is changing. That shows you what your color is going to be. So once you find a color that you like, click OK, and then come over here and click inside of that iPad. Easy, okay? Now, back over to this Move tool, make yourself appear. You're inside of this little iPad now. But I think that what we need to do is resize again because now we look like we're way too big for this iPad. So I'm going to just go to Edit, Transform, Scale, hold the Shift key down. Oh, wrong layer. Make sure you're on the correct layer, so click on U. I'm going to have to do some erasing again. So after I pull myself in here. I'm gonna get my eraser tool. And start getting rid of stuff. Okay, so go ahead and finish that, and then we'll come back and talk about adding text.